Okay, today I have a little demonstration about reporting on demands. I specifically want to try to take my demand table, which I have 125 of them. I want to group them by assignment group, but I have a little bit of special requirement here in that assignment groups belong to different regions, and I don't want to report on the assignment group. I want to aggregate them up into regions. So let's go ahead and group this by assignment group. And we can see we have 8 assignment groups. We have 25 that are actually empty, so we know that we may need to fix that. But in this case, for this example, analyst, application development, and architects belong in region A. Billing support, change management belong in region B. And ITSM, engineering and technical support, belong in region C. So what I'm going to take you through is a real short example of how to go from this to aggregate it up into regions so you can get your KPIs for each region and then start building some reports out. Okay, so let's just do something really quick. Let's run a filter here, and let's just say we know that we want our assignment group to be grouped as, so we got analysts, or we got application development, or the last one is architects. Okay, so those 3 assignment groups make up region A. We'll run it, and we can see we get those groups filtered out. So this is region A, and that's what I want. So if I came up here and I right-clicked here and hit copy query, we could now go into VividSheets and start using that information to get our KPIs. So here, I got some queries set up that I'm going to use for my calculations. I got region A, B, C, and I went ahead and added my table name, which is the demand table. But here, in this case, if I pasted what I had before, I would get this here. So let's just go ahead and do that. I'll delete this. Oops. Go ahead and delete that. And then I'm going to paste in what I had before. I'm going to hit enter, and then we'll go back up here, and you can see it has assignment group with the sysid for that assignment group. Now, what you see here is all the values here in region A are awaiting collection. Because this value changed, I need to recollect. So let's go ahead and just hit collect data, and now we get our KPIs. So let's go take a look at how these are structured based on that information. So region A is filtering all the demands based on those assignment groups we gave. And if we go in here, we're doing a vivid count, which takes a table name, which in this case is a reference to the demand table. And then it takes an encoded query. And this is a fairly simple encoded query in that I just copied, the assignment groups that I wanted, and I wanted to filter just by that. I may also add some additional information. Maybe I only want qualified demands, etc. That could be done here also, but in this case I kept it simple. So we got 42 total demands for region A. Let's go back to our demand table. So we had analysts at 19, architects at 11, so that's 20, 30, 42. So that number checks out, and then I just repeated that for each region by copying down. So you can see the reference here is I4, and the reference here is I3. Let's go ahead and recollect that so we have our values. Now, if we go over here, I'm using the Vivid average for the average score, average impact, and average risk. It's very similar in that I'm just taking the table, so we got demand. I got the same encoded query, I'm just filtering the data the same way. In this case, I want to average the score on the demand. So I need to give it the field I want to average. And then as you can imagine in impact, it's the same thing. I just want to do the same average on the impact over the same data set. And then on risk, same thing. It's score risk that I'm taking and over the same data set and same table. So now that I have and then I just copy that down for each region so that I can get the values. So now that I have this information, let's go ahead and resave this. Let's go over to VividCharts and use this for our reporting. So now I come over here and you can see I already have the average impact by region, but let's go ahead and create a chart for the average impact, the average score by region. So let's go ahead and go to our charts menu here, and we'll say, let's stick with horizontal bar so that we're a little bit consistent in our look and feel, and choose VividSheets. Now I need to search for the sheet with my data, which is demand by regions, and then my labels are A2 to A4, and the values for the cell range impact was C2 to C4. So let's go C2 to C4. Then I'm gonna go ahead and hit save. Okay, so I got that set up. Obviously I need to do some styling. Let's go ahead and get that done here really quick. We'll swap this out. I think my color is pretty far down here. Here we go. Okay, and the size is a little different. This thing is 800. So let's go ahead and choose a different size here. And let's go ahead and give it a title. So this was average, let's go ahead and spell it out, average score by region, and we'll leave that alone. Okay, now you can see I don't have any values here, and I probably want to see the actual values here, so I'll turn the values on. And notice here it's just giving me whole numbers. I actually want to format that to have a couple decimal places, so I'll click that, and I need to see it a little bit better, so let's go to 24 size, and I think we're good there. So let's go ahead and close that and see what we got. So we're at position 100 and 200. Let's go lower this down so we're exactly the same. So there we go. So now just in a few minutes, I went from, not having any way to aggregate my different assignment groups into regions. Now there are different ways you could solve this in ServiceNow. Maybe you would add a field to the demand record with region, but don't need to do that if for this use case you can do something just like this. So hopefully that helps you think about using VividSheets as a data source for building out your charts.